I
I
just
can't hear you.
started it. Can you hear me now?
No, a little louder, please.
Uh-oh.
All right, well, Becky's trying to figure out the sound. She'll get it. But let me tell you a little bit about I Take the Lead. I Take the Lead actually started in Portland, Oregon. Gene Hamilton and Becky Tangwall came together and created something very special and unique for quite a lot of people. They've been doing it for over a decade. In Colorado, we've been here for a little over 6 years. Is that right, Becky? Did you get the
Yes.
sound working?
No.
Okay, Becky's experiencing some technical difficulties, but in Colorado, we've been doing it here for a little over 6 years. I personally, come January, I'll personally have been doing I Take the Lead for 5 years, which is amazing and awesome. I personally think so. We're so excited to see everybody get on the call, everybody join. This is amazing. Today we're talking about the power pitch, which is absolutely phenomenal. Going in and talking to somebody is an extremely important part of business. I'm sure you agree right now. And doing it correctly makes all the difference in the world. It really does. There's a million ways on how to do a PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to show you mine. I know mine works. It works very well, and that's what we're going to talk about today. We got a few people on the line, and we still got a lot of people. Just coming to the call, which is awesome. I see you, Mark, Adam, Deb. Thank you, John. I see you. Hi. Hi, Renee. Hi, Lisa. I see you guys. So why don't we go ahead and get into the presentation. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a screen share, and I'm going to let you see my screen. Now, this is our first webinar, so bear with me. It's going to get better and even better and better every single time we do it. Just because the technology is not here just yet, bear with me. I'm still new, so we're very excited to be here. First thing is, let me tell you what makes me qualified. Yes, I own a large networking organization in Denver, Colorado. I own the Colorado I Take the Lead franchise, and also the Wyoming franchise, which is awesome. We're getting some things going up there. We have people in Denver, Colorado, all around the metro area, including Colorado Springs and Fort Collins, which is absolutely amazing, and I'm excited. I'm really excited to see us grow. What a leads group is. For a lot of people who don't know what a leads group is, we are a leads group organization. And a leads group is a team of professionals who come together one person at a time to do one thing. What can I do for you? They really, really want to do this one thing. They want to help the other people around the table, and that's what we're good at. That's what we're really good at making. So let's talk about the PowerPoint presentation. So give me a minute here. Let me go ahead and put I made a PowerPoint presentation just for you today, believe it or not. Just for you. I'm really excited about this. I worked hard on it, so don't laugh, okay? I'm just kidding. This is great. Yeah, we will do this one right here. Now, what should be coming up here is features. Yeah, you should be able to see that. Everybody should be able to see it. And also, we have a chat as well. If you have any questions, if you want to talk, we also have a chat room as well. You can go ahead and chat. And I want to bring this out too. If you're on Twitter, you like Twitter, do hashtag ITTL. Again, hashtag ITTL, so we know who you're talking about, and if you have any questions there. Please promote this. It really helps. Wonderful. So you see this guy up here? Thomas Jefferson, one of the coolest guys one of the coolest guys around. I honestly think so. This guy could write in 2 different languages at the same time. You talk about someone who knew about the English language and quite a few other languages. That was this man. He also really helped write the Declaration of Independence. But he said this. He said the most valuable of all talents is that of never using 2 words when one will do. Now think about that. How many times do we go out and we try to over-explain ourselves to people, to places, to things? It doesn't matter. We want to say the same thing that means the same thing. The most valuable of all talents is that never using 2 words when just one will do, which is really, really important. Let's go to the next slide here. Now, what is an elevator pitch? That's a good question. A lot of people don't get what an elevator pitch is, what it's all about, why we even say elevator pitch. Some people say 15-second pitch. Some people say 30-second. Some even say a minute. To understand that, we got to know just a little bit about the history. Now, in the 50s, there was a writer, and the elevator pitch was actually written down in the 50s as the first place we can find it. But that's not where it was coined. It was actually coined in Silicon Valley during the 70s. Do you guys remember when people were making, Silicon Valley was at the high point, people were making computers left and right in their garage? They were making computers, they were making all of these things. Left, right, and everywhere else, which is great. But the big thing that they were doing there is becoming millionaires overnight. Not everybody. In fact, most people weren't. But some of them were becoming millionaires just overnight. And as they were millionaires, I'm going to go back to this slide, as they were millionaires, they would have to get an office. They'd have to move out of mom's garage or the basement or wherever they're working. And they would have to get an office somewhere, anywhere. Now, the thing about IT people, I don't know if you know too many IT people. I love them because they speak binary code. They speak a language I don't speak. But one thing a lot of them had in common is they had a hard time speaking to others. And they really did. They had a hard time speaking to one person, to another person, to another person. And that's tough for most people. It really, really is. But it was tougher for them. So if you wanted to talk to somebody who was doing, let's say, Macintosh, what you would have to do is you would have to stand by one of these elevators, wait for the person to get on board, and then you only have 30 seconds from the time the elevator went from the bottom, the first floor, all the way up to the top floor. You would only have 30 seconds to make an impression. And all you wanted to hear was, hey, come here. Come talk to me. Tell me more. That's all you wanted to hear. It was great. It was great. From then on, we had to figure out how in the world we can go ahead and get people to be interested in what we do. So PowerPoints are elevator pitches are cool. They really are. I think they're cool. And one of the biggest things that makes you stand apart from anybody else is understanding the benefits and the features. And what's the difference? Before you can do an effective power pitch, you really have to understand the benefits and features. It's that important. Now, most people think they know what a benefit is and what a feature is, but we're going to go through this anyway just to make sure. Now, here's what the dictionary says. The dictionary says a feature is an interesting or important part, quality, ability, etc. For example, it's an important part of your business. What I'd like you to do at this time is I'd like you just to take a blank sheet of paper, and go ahead and take a blank sheet of paper out, and also a pen. And I'll give you just a couple of seconds to go round that stuff up real quick. And don't worry if I'm talking too fast or you miss a slide. Believe it or not, this is all emailed to you. And also, my personal email is james@itakethelead.com. Go ahead and email me anytime you have any questions. Email me during this whole conversation. So let's talk about these features. It's an interesting or important part, quality, ability, etc. What in your business is interesting? It should be really easy to write that down. One thing about I Take the Lead that is interesting to a lot of people is we have smaller groups. We don't have 30, 40, 50 people in. We keep it small so it's a team, so people can really help each other out. What's an important part of your business? Now that's important. Go ahead and write that down. And what about the quality and the ability of something? How fast, how friendly service do you have? Do you have any employees? Wonderful, Becky. Good point. Becky just sent me an email. She said the PowerPoint is showing the 2 slides. So thank you so much for pointing that out, Becky. And everybody online, I really, really appreciate you working with me on here. So let's go ahead and stop that there. We'll go up here, push escape. All right. Really excited. Now, let's see if we can fix that here. The screen share. Screen 2. Let's see if screen 2 works any better. Oh, perfect. Here we go. All right, we're just going to fast forward. That should look a lot better to everyone. I think so. There's the benefits and features. This is the features. So I hope you took a few minutes and you actually wrote down some features. Now the question you got to ask is, what's in it for me? If I was your client, if I was your customer, if I was the one giving you money, what would it be in it for me? Why in the world would you want to give me anything? Now that's a good question. And you got to think about that. So all those interesting things don't interest me as a customer, but you need them. So you got to understand what is the benefit of each and every feature that you have. What is the benefit? Now, if we look at the dictionary, the benefits are described as an advantage or profit gained from something. So what is the advantage that you get from each and everything that you write down? Each feature that you write down, what is the advantage? What is the profit? Why would somebody do something? Why would they get something? Good question, right? If you can't answer that, well, then you need to talk to the clients that you have right now. What is the advantage? So let's take just a few for example. And let's go back to features. Now let's do this little exercise here. So let's say, let's talk about an insurance agent. Insurance agents, I know a few of them, I'm sure you do too. They're really, really good. Now, what's a really important part of an insurance agent? How about uninsured motorist? Now, that's a feature. The uninsured motorist is a feature. Ask yourself, pretend you're the client and say, what's in it for me? What's uninsured motorist coverage in it for me? And what is the advantage or profit gained from uninsured motorist insurance? This is really good. Well, the reality on the benefit here is that, and this is a study that I heard not too long ago, and I know Colorado, some states are a little bit more, but 1 out of 3 drivers is uninsured. And if somebody hits you and you go to the hospital or you need your car paid for, if you don't have that uninsured motorist, guess what happens? Absolutely right, nothing. nothing happens at all. So that's an advantage. That's a benefit. What's in it for me? I actually get covered. Let's go ahead and do realtors the same way. Let's do, how about houses have been selling like hotcakes. If you're anywhere in Colorado, you know that once you put up a house and you do it correctly, it's probably going to sell within less than a month. I know people who sold in 5 days. I know people who sold in a week. Most houses are going, as long as the area is correct, they're selling like hotcakes. But what's an interesting, important part about being a realtor who's going to sell a house? Well, let's take a virtual tour. Now, the feature is virtual tour, and if you don't know what a virtual tour is, that's where somebody comes in with a camera and they videotape the house, and so when somebody's watching it, they can feel like they are walking completely through the house. So then what's in it for me? Ha! We just talked about it. What's in it for me? What is the advantage? It's so somebody can actually feel, a potential client can actually feel that they are truly walking around the house by their computer alone. These are pretty cool, and you can do it for any industry, any one at a time. You see how we did that? Pretty simple. Most people, when they talk about their business, it's just a blank sheet of paper. It really is. And nobody anymore wants to answer this question here. Why do we do what we do? Now, this is a really good question. Why? Now, the why is not the benefit. The why is why you do what you do. Are you trying to save the world? Are you trying to stop the world and make it spin the other way? Simon Sinek wrote a book, Know Your Why. If you haven't read that, go read that book. That's amazing and awesome. Here's how the dictionary tells us about why and what it is. It's for what purpose, reason, or cause, with what intention, justification, or motive. Now think about that just for a minute. Why do you do what you do? If you say, I don't know, you're in the wrong business, unfortunately. Think about that again. What is your why? Why do you go out there? Now, let me tell you my why. My reason why I get up every day, why I help put these leads groups together, because I want to change the world. Networking's different than it was 10 years ago. Networking's different than it was 5 years ago when I started. Networking is different than it was last year, and it completely has changed. People are still networking like it's the 20th century. Like they're out there and they're still writing on, seriously, they're not using Excel, they're not using Word, PowerPoint, or whatever you use nowadays. And there's other stuff, even I'm behind in that. But they're not using the equipment, the tools as it is. For example, it used to be in the 90s, you wanted to be in the biggest group that you possibly could. Why? It's because it was a phone book. And you wanted to be in a living, breathing phone book. That was so important to a lot of people. Well, here's the reason why I get up every single day. Is because nobody opens the phone book anymore. It's so true. It's so true. We don't open the phone book. We don't look in there. You know where we go? We go right to the computer. And do you know what most people are scared of nowadays? They're scared of confrontation. They're scared of talking to people. So guess what? Accidental referrals are over. They're out. What an accidental referral was somebody would just come up to you randomly and say, hey, I need a plumber. Do you know somebody? And unfortunately, that doesn't happen anymore. So the reason why I do what I do is really to create a team where people can come together, where they can meet, where they can help each other day after day after day. And so they can be their sales team. The perfect size group is less than 20. I like to say it's under 12. 12 is a really good size group. How do you know when your group's too big? Check this out. If you can go around the table and meet with each and every person on your team at least once a quarter, you got a good sized group. If you can't go around the table and meet with everybody, you don't. Do you see my why? Why I get out there, why I push through the wall, why I do what I do? I want to educate. I want to educate. I want to encourage business owners, and I want to help them get established in the community, and that's what we're all about. Now, if you're having trouble with your why, I want you to look at this picture here. Do you see all those shoes? Amazing. You have no idea where anybody is unless you walk a mile in their shoes. Now, I wanted to put up these shoes here. I know some of them are ridiculous and you wouldn't use them for work, and some of you might say, oh, that's cute. And guys, I know what you're thinking. Why in the world am I looking at high heels? I'd never walk in there. That's exactly the point. You got to see life from your client's point of view, whoever your client is. Find out what pair of shoes they are. Have you ever heard the expression? And this is cool. Have you ever heard the expression, you don't know a person unless you walked a mile in their shoes? Do you know what that actually means? Well, let me explain it this way just a little bit here. Have you ever walked a mile? It can take, what, 10 minutes? It's 7 minutes if you walk briskly. It could take 30 minutes if you walk really, really slow. Think about it. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to picture one of your clients. Yeah, not just one of your clients. I want you to picture your favorite client that you have, the best client that you possibly could imagine. Now, I want you, for the next 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, however long it takes you to walk a mile, I want you to pretend that you're them, sitting at the desk or going about your day, going shopping with the kids, the hectic schedule, whatever it is that your client do. I want you to really spend about 30, 40 minutes, more time. You see how I keep adding that more time? The more time you actually walk in their shoes and you actually see who they are, the more that you'll actually, the more that you will actually become that person. And then you'll know exactly how to speak to them. So let's talk about this. What is the purpose of your elevator speech? Now this is important, and this you should write down. If you're making any notes at all, write this down. What is the purpose of your elevator speech? You never know. Some people are on this webinar right now, I know for a fact, to get a job. And when they go out to a networking event, when they go out and talk to people, it's to get a job. Believe it or not, that's what they are. And you need an elevator speech for that. And some of them, contractors even, want to get a job, just want to get the next job and the next job. That elevator speech is important. What about new clients? That's what we're talking about here. That's pretty important, having an elevator speech for new clients. I think we all agree. How about another elevator speech for networking? When you go out and you network and you meet people. Now, here's something that a lot of people don't know. And this might be really sad, but I want everybody in here to stop networking. I want you to start building a network. And a lot of people don't understand this. But networking is not really the way how to do it unless you do it correctly. And what I mean by that, it's not a verb. Build a network, and that's so important. So I want everybody out here to stop just networking and start building a network. And that means making relationships one-on-one with other people. That means going out there and really becoming somebody who people want to give people to, which people want to help out with. Absolutely amazing. So stop networking and start building your network. And with I Take the Lead, you can do that, but that's just a shameless plug. Sorry, Becky. The next one is find investors. That's really, really, really important for a lot of people out there, and you got to have that elevator speech. So you want to write those down, and you want to make a different elevator pitch, 15-second pitch, power pitch. That's what I like to call it, power pitch, for each and every different type of occasion you're at. The next thing is you got to know your audience. Who in the world are you talking to? Are you talking to your customers? Would you give them a different power pitch than you would, let's say, employees? How about the networking contacts? How about just strangers that you meet? And family and friends. Pretty cool? I kind of think so. So know your audience. It's very, very important. So let's put it together. The big question is, who are you? Come up with about 7 or less words that rhyme, or create a comfortable, familiar feeling with 7 words. Now, I like the ones that rhyme personally, but that doesn't always work. Sometimes a comfortable or familiar feeling is better. For example, when I go out and I do my elevator pitch, and I'm at a networking event, and I'm introducing myself, a lot of times I go, "Hi, everybody," and I know I get made fun of. It's so much fun by people. But I'll tell you what, people start doing my "Hi, everybody." They do. And do you know why this is a comfortable, familiar feeling? And what it actually makes me is that it makes me animated. People see me as an animated person. Because who says "Hi, everybody"? Believe it or not, it's Mickey Mouse. It's SpongeBob. It's the cartoon characters out there. And I want to present myself as an animated, very high energy, a caring, lovable person. And that's how I want people to see me. Now, you might be different. We have another gentleman in one of the groups, Nick Fabrizio. I love Nick. And he goes, "Good morning," all the time. And he just keeps his mouth shut and he says, "Good morning." And you know what? People just look at him and they get that comfortable, familiar feeling. Because the way he says it might be a way a pastor might say it, might be a way a congressperson might say it, somebody who's addressing an audience. People shut up and they do listen. Now, when it comes up to words that rhyme, it's very, very easy to make words that rhyme, or make them from a movie. But let's talk about the words that rhyme. I had one person tell me that I should start calling myself the networking ninja. Now that doesn't rhyme, but the two ends kind of make it work together. But come up with your own. Find out who you are and how it is. It's very, very important. Now let's go to the next one here. What is your industry? This is perfect. Now you see how I say tell the truth? Use we, not I. The reason why we use we, not I, it's so important, is because people want to see who you are. The smaller the company, the more people actually use we. They did a survey out there and a study. And the bigger the company, the more people actually say I. When a person hears the word we, it's almost impossible for the person that you're speaking to not to see themselves on the same side of the table as the person who said we. In fact, when I say we, believe it or not, we're on the same team. When I say I, we're sitting across the desk from each other. All right? Do you see how that goes? It's a we. Always in your pitches, try to use we as much as you can. Tell the truth. Oh, man, I can't tell you enough. Any first impressions are so important, and especially about your industry. If you do insurance, say you do insurance. Don't make something up weird that somebody has no idea what you do, or mislead them in any way at all. Just tell the truth. Say I'm in insurance. Boom. It's that easy. You can make it as cute as you want to, but do not lie. Too many times I hear that over and over and over again. Don't lie. So what is your industry? Just write it down. One word. That's it. That's all you need. If it's real estate, write real estate. Get the 800 gorilla out of there. I remember this one time, and I'll go back to this. I remember this one time I was at a networking event, true story, and this person would tell me what they did. I got bored. They wanted to skip around the truth every single time. I got really bored, and I didn't even remember the guy's name. I just left. I remember the guy because he made an impression on me, what not to do, but I don't remember what he does. I don't remember his name. I don't remember anything about it. Hey, while we're on that subject, you know those flashy name tags, or somebody tells you to put your name tag upside down or put it on your pants or something? Before you do that, remember this. Remember this. First impressions are everything. And if people see that you can't dress yourself, if they see that you're doing things that aren't necessarily professional like, they're going to see that that's the way you treat your clients. And if you can't even put your name tag on the correct way, most of the time they will see that, well, maybe you can't, they're thinking it. Maybe they can't help my clients professionally at all, too. Being professional is important. So why do you do what you do? Again, it comes back to why. Add that down and write that down. Why do you do what you do? Add it. Keep this to 7 words or less. In fact, all of these, keep these to 7 words or less. Why do you do what you do? We already talked about it earlier. Hopefully it's really easy to write it down. Again, 7 words or less. What is the number one benefit your company provides? I mean, what is the number one benefit your company provides? Now, we talked about the difference between features and benefits, and you can actually see the difference between features and benefits. I hope I explained that very well. But what's the number one? And if you don't know, go ask your customer. Go ask 2 or 3 or 10 customers. What is the number one benefit your customer provides, your company supplies? And just shorten it down to 7 words or less. Write that down next. Now, I hope you're writing all these down. I really do. If not, we can go through them again real quick. The next thing is, why in the world would your clients care? Why do they care about you? Write that down. I'll tell you why people care about I Take the Lead. And why people care about the leads groups that they're in is because they're pretty much like family. Is because they actually open the souls to the other people around the table. And they actually really get to know the other people around the table. And then they care because people care. It's amazing. And you know what? Who said it? I'm trying to think. The guy, Wolf on Wall Street. What's his name? Oh, man, who said it? I can't think of his name. My brain just went completely blank. He said, nobody's going to care about you until they find out how much you care about them first. And it's true. It's not just about know, like, and trust anymore. It's about people knowing that you care about them. What makes you different? Notice I threw in the why. Why are you different than everybody else? Let's say you're a mortgage lender. Why in the world are you different than anyone else out there? I don't know. Good question. Why are you different? I'll tell you why I'm different. And I'm talking about me personally. Why I'm different is because I care. But that's not good enough. Because everybody cares. Why are you different? Because you like to help people. Well, the reality is everybody likes to help people. That's the truth. Everybody does like to help people. But what makes me different? It's not because I care, and it's not because I like to help people. What makes me different is my tenacity, is my never gonna stop, is my unwilling energy. If you ever met me in person, which I hope you do, and I hope we meet really, really soon. I love meeting new people. You'll see that I'm one of the most energetic people that you'll ever meet. And I have more energy to spare than anybody else. Believe it or not, that's what makes me different. Cool. Now this is what most people see. You see, this is what is your call to action. What is your call to action? Remember, JFK asked not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. That was a call to action. There's many, many, many call to actions there. You got to figure out what your call to action is. And here's the reality. If every single time you're with a person, you don't ask, you don't send them on an assignment, you don't give them a call to action, you just wasted your time. If you don't tell people how to bring people to you, if you don't tell them what you want to do next, they won't do it. Have you ever closed a contract before? It's not, does that sound right? Can you afford that? You never say those questions, right? You say the next step is, bam, that's a call to action. You say, we'll fill out this form, that's a call to action. We'll say, we'll set up an appointment for some other time, that's a call to action. Or, let's go ahead and finish our conversation. That's a call to action. Call to action is one of the most, no, it's not one of the most. Call to action is the single most important thing you can do while you're talking to another person in your network. Single most important thing to do. Think of it. Have you ever been sitting around your leads group and you wanted to either grow your leads group, or the other thing you wanted to do besides grow your leads group is you wanted to get the people in their leads. What if you never ask anybody to help grow the leads group? You think it's going to grow by itself? Absolutely not. And if you don't ask people to go out and find you an estate attorney, or go out and find you a chiropractor, whatever you need, or find you a mortgage person, guess what? Nobody's going to read your mind and nobody's going to do it. When you're asking for a referral, if you're looking for a new home buyer and you don't ask people for new home buyers to introduce you to new home buyers, guess what you're going to get? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Over and over and over again. So what is your call to action? Put it in motion. Very, very important. See how we do this? We bring it back to what is your call to action. That's what it's all about. So let's just go over this real quick. And then what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and write this on a piece of paper. Your answers on a piece of paper. Just one after another, and then you're just going to come up with a paragraph. And believe it or not, you got a 15-second pitch that will that'll rival anybody's, and really get people, really get people talking about you. So the first one to write down is, what is the purpose of your elevator speech? And write that down. The next one is, who is your audience? Write down the audience that you're going for. Write down, who are you? It's important. Come up with 7 words or less that rhyme or create a comfortable, familiar feeling. What is your industry? Just write it down. Why do you do what you do? I have no idea until you tell me. Write it down, 7 words or less. What is the #1 benefit your company provides? I might know you for 30 years, but until you tell me, I don't know. Write it down. Why do your clients care? Right now, I don't know until you tell me. Write it down. Why are you different? And what is your call to action? What is your call to action? Very, very important. Good stuff. Good stuff. Becky, did you get your speakers to work? Becky?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
No. I can hear you now. Becky, do you want to add a little bit in there at all?
I do. Are you sure you can hear me?
I can't. Can you turn it up just a little bit?
Oh.
And no, you're muted.
Yeah.
I see it.
I
There
know.
you go.
It stopped when you put up the... Oh.
I'll go ahead and mute.
Okay. Can everybody hear me? No.
You're faint, but I think we can hear you. Go ahead, Becky.
I don't know why. I'm very sorry about this. I was going to tell you that it stopped when you... I think if you pull your PowerPoint down altogether. I want to thank everybody for being here. And I especially want to thank James for sharing that information and stepping in for me. As he's shared, this is our first of many. We'll be holding these every week, Tuesday, 2 to 3 Pacific time.
Now we have somebody. We have Jeremy actually on the line, Becky.
Oh, good, perfect.
Now, guys, let me introduce you to Jeremy. Jeremy's a really good guy. Jeremy, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Wonderful. Why don't you tell us a little bit who you are, and you wanted to say a few words about I Take the Lead as well, I guess?
Sure. I'm Jeremy Wiley with JBL Tax Services. We do tax planning and preparation for entrepreneurs and small businesses. About a little over a year ago, I went out on my own. Prior to that, I was working for a company that hasn't done any advertising or taken on new clients for over 10 years. So getting going, it was a new experience because we hadn't had to worry about getting new clients for a while. And right now, basically 60% of all my revenue has come directly from I Take the Lead members, whether it's doing somebody's personal returns or their business returns or referrals. And of course, as you know, we spent a lot of time together when I first started networking, and just the things I've learned through I Take the Lead meetings and yourself has helped me tremendously.
Uh-oh.
You all right, James?
What's that?
Oh, it just looked like your computer froze.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, it froze for a minute. I didn't hear what you were saying there. I'm sorry.
That's
My
all right.
computer did freeze.
But no, I was just saying that, you know, between your help and I Take the Lead meetings, 60% of my business comes directly from I Take the Lead, whether it's members or referrals.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Jeremy. That was amazing. I love it. So let me ask anybody here. Does anybody? I saw in the chat. We got a lot in the chat room here. A lot of people were talking. I apologize. I didn't see it earlier, but I'll stay after when we're done here, and I'll continue to chat if you'd like to chat a little bit more. Absolutely love it. We want to remind everybody that next week we have a phenomenal speaker. Holy mackerel. Becky, tell us about the speaker next week.
It's Luke Adams, but I don't think you can hear me.
Everybody can hear you fine. It's only me.
Oh, you can. Oh, okay. Oh, well, Luke Adams is going to be speaking next week, and he's going to be sharing how to network a room. Believe it or not, I'm shy. And I have a hard time walking into a room with 100 people or more. And so Luke is going to provide some tips on how to do that most effectively and really network the room and make the most, get the most benefit out of it. He's the owner of CR2 Marketing here in the Portland area. Then the following
That's
week,
so amazing. I'm excited. I am so excited. It's not even funny. If you want to learn how to network a room, you got to be here next week. We will be online at 3 o'clock Mountain, 2 o'clock Pacific time. Yeah, I'm excited to hear Luke's speech. This is going to be amazing. So stick with us. This is going to be really good. Hey, and if you guys would do me a favor too, just give us a little bit of feedback here. You can email Becky or email me, James, at itakethelead.com. Let us know what you thought. Let us improve this, and let's make this the best webinar ever. I know it's a free webinar, but let's make it the best webinar ever. Let's really help some people out. Let's get them to the next step. Because as long as we can keep encouraging businesses, as long as we can keep bringing education, a good quality education, that's important. And as long as we can help these businesses help you get established in the community, then we've done our job. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye. All right. I'm still on the chat if anybody